recent live broadcast we did, I was talking about LA and the fact that the Olympics will be in LA. At least the plan is Olympics will be in LA in the year 2028. That's about 4 years from now. Now, what I did was I actually took a look at, I went to the website Color of Wealth. And what I want you to do is take a look at this clip, because there's some very interesting things that we were able to pull out of this website, because they had a chart that showed, where each demographic was economically. And I want you to take a look at that, because there's some other things I'm going to show you too in this video, but we're going to rewind a little bit. Let's look at the clip and I'll be right back afterwards. Let's see. Let's go to what I wanted to show you guys. This is the Color of Wealth. Let me pull that website up here. Color of Wealth. Okay, is this it? Hope this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. We're gonna go to Los Angeles. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to Los Angeles. Let's pull that up. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this here. All right, so I posted this the other day, or yesterday, I should say, on our community page. And I want y'all to take a look at this again, because it's very important. And the reason why this is important, because it really highlights why it is important for us to point out, separate, or delineate Black American, or what we call Black American, from everybody else. And so what you see on your screen here, this is the net worth by race. Now, this is in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles or LA is a very extreme case, because it's very expensive. We've lived in Los Angeles, so it's very expensive out there, okay? But Los Angeles, if you know the history of Los Angeles, at least part of it, has a very deep Black American history. Black Americans, like a lot of places, helped build that city. And but there's a lot of deep history there. And Black people have been very much a part of the roots of that city. But let's take a look at this according to what they have on the site here. Let's look at the net worth by race. Okay, shall we? So it's on the screen. I just want to make sure it's on the screen. Okay, so you got African Black. 72,000 is the median income, all right, which puts them above the median value, all right. Asian Indian, all right, that would be Kamala and the gang, right? Gosh, 460,000 above, which they said, which is 439,000 above the median. What in the world? Look at the Chinese, 408,200, which is 387 above the median. Filipino, 243,000, which is 222,000 above the median. These people are doing quite well so far, aren't they? Let's go on. The Japanese are killing it. 592,000, which is 571,000 above the median value. Now look at the Koreans. Koreans, yeah, 23.4. But isn't it interesting? Let's stop here for a second. They're 23.4, which is 2,400 above the median value. Now, this is a very interesting one as I'm sitting here looking at this, and we're just kind of going through this. This is very interesting because who controls most, if not all, the beauty supply shops, especially in LA? I can answer that one. Because even when we were living out there, it was Koreans. But they're 2,400 above the median income. The median value, sorry. Let's look at Mexicans. Mexicans are 3,500, which is 17.5 below the median value. So Mexicans right there. Let's look at this one here. Other Latino. You like that accent, huh? 42.5, which is 21.5 above the median income. All right, let's go to Vietnamese. 61.5, which is 40,500 above the median value. And of course, let's look at white folks. 355,000, which is 334 above the median. Well, now let's go to U.S. black. 4,000, which is 17,000 below the median value. You see that? So the difference between the U.S. blacks and Mexicans is a difference of $500. We're actually $500 net worth. We're $500 more valuable, quote unquote, than Mexicans. It's a difference of $500, according to this. Now, again, this is in Los Angeles, which is an extreme case. But the reason why I want to target on Los Angeles here is because of the fact that in 4 years, they're going to have the Olympics. And as someone who has lived in a city where the Olympics, I saw it before it came, when it came, and then afterwards, I can tell you right now that by the time the Olympics comes and goes from Los Angeles, what the U.S. black demographic in the Los Angeles area is going to be decimated. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because anytime that you're talking 4 years from now, what we know as the U.S. black population in terms of median value, this is going to be decimated. Because as you know, that anytime the Olympics comes into a city or in a town or a country or whatever, or in this case, it's based in the city, everything goes up. It becomes more expensive. And as someone who's lived in Pasadena, someone who's lived in Orange County and all that, I could tell you that even then it was very expensive to live there. I can't even imagine what it's like now. So it's gone. In 4 years, this right here, this little demographic right here that you see right here, in 4 years, they're going to be gone. This is how real this is. So when people flip out and trip out when you're asking, hey, what are the specific policies for Black Americans? This is why we're asking that. This is why this question is being asked. This is why I don't, when you see the boule types that are getting excited because Beyonce going to be performing at the DNC next week or whenever it is. Or you got Steve Harvey, be quiet, Dwayne. You got Steve Harvey out here that's out here talking about telling black folks, y'all better be quiet because I'm just going to be lobbing her alley-oop. That's all I'm doing. I ain't going to be asking her no hard questions. See, Steve Harvey can get a house in LA and be cool. But the black folks that live in the areas in LA have been there traditionally for years and years and years. In 4 years, they ain't going to have a place. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you this is what it looks like. And this is why, so when you hear black people saying, some black people saying, you're just caught up on just her skin color. No, you are. We're looking at policies. This is a danger zone right here. All these, even African blacks, look at you, for the Africans in the house. Do you see why now we have to delineate ourselves in terms of economics? Because I can tell you right now, this group ain't trying to lift up U.S. blacks. They're not. This is a race. What you're looking at is a race to the top. And according to this, the Japanese are winning they doing quite well in the LA area. All right. So this website, this is colorofwealth.org. And I would encourage you to check it out. They have different cities on here. Check it out though. Okay, but the LA one I think is worth the focus because they are going to have the Olympics in the by 2028, the Olympics is coming, which means that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be displaced by the time the Olympics comes. Yeah, now, so for us, I actually lived in Atlanta just right before the Olympics came, and then I was down there while the Olympics was happening, and then after the Olympics left. And so it gave me a very interesting seat to observe the changes that took place just within in that time span, as Atlanta was getting flushed with a whole bunch of money. There's a lot of people relocating to Atlanta during that time, and it gave me an opportunity to see this rapid change that was taking place. And one of the things that was very noteworthy was how the communities that had a lot of Black history to them, and they've been there for a long time. You even had two churches that were there, almost close to 100 years. I think maybe one was probably a little bit over 100 years. Rapid change was taking place where eventually, over time, this was kind of after the Olympics, those churches got pushed out. The city compensated them in that particular case. But what was happening was that the fact that change was taking place, this was something that was being trumpeted from every whatever, that, Atlanta is progressing, this is the place to be and all of that. But what about the people who were on the lower end of that economic scale? What about them? And the reason why I want to focus in on that is because of the fact that this is what's coming to the people in LA, the Black Americans that have called the city of Los Angeles their home for generations. If you know anything about the rich history of Los Angeles, you know that Black Americans helped put that city together, helped put that city on the map. And it's amazing history, and I would encourage anybody to take a look at it. But if you look at that chart that I just showed you earlier, you can see right in your face that once this Olympics comes in, I believe this is going to be the final wave that's really going to push out Black Americans who have called that place home for a long time. It's going to push them out. I mean, it's just inevitable. And so what I want you to do is take a look at these clips here that I'm about to show you, because this is what happened in the city of Atlanta. Let's take a look at those clips.
Another thing from the last podcast that I learned was, because I think we got into gentrification a bit, and we were talking about, you were talking about how white people didn't want to live in the same area code and street as Black people. So on Moreland,
that's why once it crosses ponds,
exactly, they changed right when Moreland Street crosses Ponce de Leon. Right after that, it becomes Briarcliff Road, and they changed the zip code to be a different zip code and everything because they didn't want it to be associated with Black people.
That's redlining and that's white flight.
That the city of Atlanta proper focused in an imbalanced way on business development.
Breaking Through News is investigating gentrification in cities across the U.S. Gentrification is defined as tearing down low-income homes and deteriorated urban neighborhoods, and then rebuilding luxury homes on those properties, which raises property values.
They wanted to get the Amazons. They wanted to get the Porsche, the Kia company. They wanted all these companies to be headquartered here. As a result of some of the success of that, gentrification has been the rule of the day in our neighborhoods and in our communities.
In Atlanta, during the late 80s up until 2011, public housing units were demolished and replaced with new upscale homes, condominiums, apartments, and businesses.
The Title VI funds that destroyed public housing in many cities across the country, on its face looked like a good thing, because the line was, Well, the political line was, well, we're going to come in, destroy these pockets of poverty, because in this public housing, you've got all these poor people living in the same place, and they're not able to help each other. So we're going to have mixed income housing, and so that's going to cause a change in the mindset of the poor, and they're going to want to be like their neighbors, so they're going to do better. Well, that sounds good, but that's not what happened. What happened was when the Title VI money came through, they tore down every single housing project in the city of Atlanta and replaced it with either green space or mixed income housing, but they did not replace it bed for bed for the people who left.
Forcing mostly African Americans out of their neighborhoods. Reportedly, at one time, Atlanta had 14,000 public housing units.
The people who were displaced were not allowed to come back into the mixed income housing.
Yo, good morning. Hope your day's a good one. I need to talk to y'all right quick. Stuff like really just, it really messes with me, man. Cause like, what's happening, you know, all of this, people talking about racism and white supremacy and all this type of stuff. Like, you see what's behind me right now? What's behind me right now is the hood, alright? It's the hood. This our community. You know what I'm saying? This is like the hood. What's up, sweetheart? You alright? Nah, I don't have no change on me right now, sweetheart. I don't have no money on me right now. This is what it is. This is what's going on right now, man. People are hurting. You know, I know people are hurting all over the world, man, but like right now, people are hurting right here. And so, on the same exact street, I got show you this. Same street. Now, you see that? Now, these folks ain't playing with y'all. It say, if you can't read it, it say 27 lots. Starting 600,000. 27. 27 lots, 600,000. Do the math on that. That's starting at. That's like 16 million. This white man over here about to do 16 million. Starting at 600. So that's not counting the ones that got the view that's going to go for 800,000. They getting ready to do 20 million. 20. And let me just turn around so you can see what's going on. We across the street looking at this go up. Now that's the part that baffles me. We across the street watching this go down. And it can't be like that's one multiplex, that's two multiplexes, three multiplexes, four multiplexes. And these folks got the earth digging equipment, they got the cats out here. They not playing with y'all, man. They not playing with y'all. So to be on some foolishness right now as black folks, I ain't even pleading with y'all no more. I'm just showing you what this white man is doing. He's pushing you out of your own community, man.
Okay, so finally, so just imagine for a moment, you know, for the people, the remaining Black Americans that are in Los Angeles, who are renting, which is probably a good percentage of them. You know, between now and 2028, those rents are going to go up. And so once those rents go up, it's just a matter of time. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to see black people in Los Angeles at all, because you got people of all colors and races or whatever that still work in that city. So you'll always see them around. But as far as the legacy is concerned, that part is being pushed out economically, and you're going to see it as we're getting closer and closer to the 2028 Olympics. I know at the time of this recording, it may seem like a long way away, but listen, time is moving so fast now. Before we blink, we will be there. In fact, the city right now is already preparing, you know, for these Olympics as we're speaking right now. And so It's something to really think about, and I think this is a very important issue to talk about, because Los Angeles actually provides us with a really good example of things to come for a lot of Black Americans in this country. This is why you're seeing a lot of pushback in this, this wave of Kamala Harris, and we just have to vote for her based on her color alone. And, we want to see, she's an AKA, she's going to possibly be sworn in, and, with a Delta, by Justice Ketanji, and this is coming out of the mouth of comedian Ricky Smiley, who's so giddy and excited about that. But when it comes to this particular issue right here, where literally you're talking about the remains of a Black community that has called Los Angeles its home for a long time, literally being snuffed out in about 4 years or so. And so this should be of great concern, and this is why you're seeing a growing number of Black Americans take to the internet and are saying that, hey, listen, we are more concerned about the policies. What are the tangible policies do you have specifically for Black Americans to stop this process? Because again, going back to the chart, you can see who the ones that are winning, and you can see the ones that are losing. And unfortunately, for cities like the city of Los Angeles, Black Americans have been losing for a very long time there. And I think this is something that we need to talk about, and neither party seems to care about it, but we do need to care about it. But I wanted to bring this topic to your attention because, again, in about 4 years or so at the time of this recording, the conversations are going to be just like what we're having right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time. And I just finished editing, but I almost forgot. This video here, I'm just plugging this in. It's about 2 more minutes. This video, I want to include in this video, is talking about the changes that Black Americans in Miami had to deal with the influx of Cuban immigrants. When Cuban immigrants were being shipped into those Black American communities. I want you to pay close attention to what they were dealing with and what they were talking about all the way back then. You're going to hear the same language. It's the same stuff over and over again. This is why it's so important for us to make sure that we itemize ourselves, delineate ourselves, and that it's, where our needs are on the ballot. Our needs are the things that are being talked about. We're not being lumped in with everybody else, because Black Americans have been here for a very long time. We have specific needs, and if we don't draw the line right now and say enough is enough, we demand specific policies for us. This thing, we're just slowly but surely being pushed off the map. And this video here I'm about to play for you is just another example of that. So check it out.
Miamians view the sudden in-migration of Cubans with bitter irony. Black Miamians watched as Cuban exiles were given assistance, aid, and money that native-born Black Americans never received. Some Blacks began to feel that the Cuban migration and the federal government's attention to Cuban needs blunted demands that Blacks were making during the 1960s civil rights struggle. Jesse McCrary is an attorney in Miami. At 34, McCrary has had a fast-moving career. He's been an assistant state's attorney general and for a time sat as one of Florida's federal court judges. McCrary likes to remember that he is one of few Blacks that is able to maintain offices on Miami's Biscayne Boulevard. We asked McCrary what he thought the Cuban immigration means to Blacks in Miami.
For one, Tony, it means that economically, when you look at what the Cubans have done in terms of their economics versus what Blacks have done, it means that we are once again at the bottom of the barrel. There are no predominantly Black financial institutions in this county. Some people would say that, even though there is a bank here with a number of Blacks on the board of directors. But when you look at the control of the bank, where the major portion of the stock is held, it's held by white Miamians. Contrasting that, you have Cubans who have a bank that reportedly is one of the fastest growing banks in the country. Now, that poses a problem because I believe that the whole strength of any community happens to be what kind of financial institutions do you have? Is there an institution that can make a loan to a man who wants to go in business? Is there